decent acting. No, it's no more Mr. Nice Guy. I couldn't tell me no time for rubbish. Not for them, they're to me.
No time for rubbish.
Not for them, they're to me. Bye to the old me. Bye to the old me. Bye to the old me. Don't call me, don't contact me.
Q95 Radio is opened for your business in collaboration with the National Development Foundation of Dominica. Get ready to join Q95 Radio and NDFD for Nature Island Small Business Buzz, a live radio program.
Very pleasant good afternoon to you once again. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Nature Island Small Business Buzz right here on the big station Q95. We've given you 95.1 reasons to listen to the big station. 95.1 good reasons, solid, advantageous reasons for empowering the platform of small business. It may be appearing to be a small part of the engine of economic growth, but it is a very vital part of all the moving parts. It all begins right here with an idea, with the ability to really articulate your plan. And we are here on this platform will help propel you into the stratosphere of financial success, business idea success, one small business at a time. Give us 1 hour. We'll give you business success right here on Nature Island Small Business Buzz. As always, I'm Franklin Peter Moses. I'm being joined here by my co-host, small business expert, and acting general manager of the National Development Foundation of Dominica, my good friend and very insightful, encouraging, and powerful small business expert, Mr. Donald Bercazio. Donnie, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Franklin, and good afternoon, Dominica, and beyond. You are tuning to another, of course, edition of the Nature Isle Small Business Buzz, where we spotlight bold ideas, resilient entrepreneurs, and the heartbeat of Dominica's small business scene. Once again, this is Donald Bercasio, and I am with, of course, the legendary Franklin Peter Moses.
Thank
You know, Franklin, today's episode is packed
Oh, yes.
with wisdom and inspiration.
And
Our special guest, if I may say, Franklin, is a trailblazer, a visionary who took a bold idea rooted in sustainability, community, and purpose, and turned it into one of Dominica's proudest success stories. So, from transforming landscapes to uplifting lives, this entrepreneur is leaving proof that doing business in Dominica can also mean doing good. So if you're passionate about, green business, local empowerment, and just want to hear from someone who's walking the talk, so to speak, you have to stay tuned in. This is a conversation you definitely don't want to miss. Franklin?
Yeah, I'm still here and I'm just listening to how you articulate our next guest. And I concur, I couldn't be any less of an encouragement. And I anticipate my expectations are wet with the dew of success. And I want to have my pens ready and my pencils ready. And I invite you to do the same.
Yes.
You can also get a copy if you want, because today, this afternoon, we're going deep. We're going far beyond below the surface to get to the very bedrock of how to establish, how to get the idea, how to transform your idea from pen and paper into bills, into invoices and receivables, and how to really manage, even in the face of adversity and setbacks, how not only to bounce back, but how to rebound with also the spirit of excellence and absolute excellence beyond your wildest imagination, where you can be looked upon as he's become a mentor and an architect of some of wise financial building for life.
Definitely. So, Franklin, we're going to give them a little time to prepare, prepare, get their notes
Mhm.
and pencils and pens, um, because we have to go to our first break. And then when we come back, we're definitely going to have this conversation, this high impact, conversation that we expect to have today. Yeah, right,
Yes.
Franklin?
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yes.
But before that, Franklin, we have to again remind everybody that the Green Innovation Summit is already on its third day, right? So, and it's been wonderful so far. Just so many outstanding ideas, inspiring personalities, and like powerful talks. One of them, of course, came from our guest today, and so our budding green entrepreneurs right now are doing their farm trip. So they're
Mhm.
actually at Be Natural Farm. Of course, we
Mhm.
want to thank
Terry
Terry
Henry,
and Mr.
Mr.
Lovell
Lovell.
for
Yes.
welcoming our Green Innovations Summit team and participants. And of course, this Saturday, Franklin,
Mhm.
will be the final pitch. All right, the big
Yes.
event, the big activity where our aspiring green entrepreneurs, after days of training preparation, will have to get the chance to pitch in front of a super duper high level powerful panel of judges. And guess where we gonna have that final pitch?
I'm looking north. I'm going south. I'm
Not
going
north.
east. I'm going west. I think I will. Let me see. I'm gonna go latitude rather than longitude. I'll go for Southern Comfort.
Yes.
So I would say, since our guest is here, I guess since our guest is
Mhm.
here, I guess it will
Yes.
be at his guest house, well, his
Mm.
premises. So I
Yes.
think it's gonna be. You tell me
Yes, it's gonna be, of course,
at the
an beautiful, outstanding Jungle
Jungle Bay
Bay
Resort
Resort.
and Spa
Yeah,
and
Dominica.
Journey and Discovery and Recovery.
Yes.
Okay, so
So we're ready now to take our first break.
yeah, we're going to take our first break now. All I want to do is talk to myself. I'm going to be talking to myself, talk to myself right about here. Yes, come in. Yes, come in. Hold that thought. I'll call you right back. Right back. Partner, Elas Franco, how are you doing? Things are getting really tight in this Gova season. Right now, I just don't know what to do. But Franklin, what are you doing? You're sitting on your money machine. With all them skills and ideas that you have, you can go further, faster. Huawei, go to the NDFD. They've got the best rates on business loans, not to mention affordable business support. They'll get your business registered and help you develop your business plan. They'll design your logo and train small business owners just like you. For real? I go down there now. All jokes aside, NDFD is helping people when others would not.
The National Development Foundation of Dominica introduces its Small Business Advisory Services. Get the help and support you need to run your business effectively. Come see us on 9 Great Marlborough Street, Roseau. Let us assist with having your company registered, developing marketing and business plans, record keeping, and the need-to-knows and provisions for Social Security, income tax, and VAT. You won't be left in the dark anymore. Let us hand over your key to unlock doors for success. NDFD Small Business Advisory Services now available. Call 448-3240, 448-8631.
And then back once again with the continuing of our program as we relate. We've got a tight scheduled program for you. We know that you're ready and you're willing and you're able and you're available to take down and Jordan and be attentive to your radio. Call a friend and let them know across Dominica, the Caribbean platform, and the international world. We're talking business and we are serious about business. And so I go to Donald.
All right, so it's our honor, Franklin, to welcome today's guest, right? A true pioneer in sustainable tourism and one of Dominica's most respected entrepreneurs. You know, he is the visionary behind the world-renowned, world-class Jungle Bay Dominica, a resort that's not only breathtaking but also built on the values of community empowerment, environmental stewardship, and local investment. So, and just FYI, of course, Jungle Bay is also a platinum sponsor of our ongoing Green Innovation Summit, helping to champion the next wave of green thinkers and doers right here in Dominica. He is an advocate, a builder, a change maker, and today he is here to share insights, lessons, and a powerful vision for small and green businesses in Dominica. So everybody, please welcome Mr. Sam Raphael to the Nature Isle Small Business Buzz.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Donnie. You're fantastic program, fantastic work at NDFD. You've really, put the heat on NDFD. It's everyone can see that. You had a good foundation, but you're taking it to the next level. And I just want to commend you and your entire team, and thank you for the invitation to be a part of the summit to Jungle Bay to be a sponsor. And I say thank you because this is right up in our alley, right up our wheelhouse, and to see that you're taking the lead and that others are taking the lead on this, and we can just come on and support. This is perfect. And I was delighted to be able to make a pitch. You say motivate the young entrepreneurs yesterday,
yes.
And the bright eyes, and I was nervous because it was lunchtime and I thought they would be hungry and they would.
Let me tell you, they were all ears.
Yeah, they were interaction, and it was just fantastic. And I just want to thank you guys for inviting me here today. But I have to give a little props to the legend, Franklin Moses.
Oh,
he's
definitely
vintage. That's my brother from another mother, my boy. We go back, Franklin, and
from the plain days.
Yeah, it is so before that. It is so nice to
see
see you behind that console.
Oh, thank you very
We
much.
We know the road,
know,
and I also. I can't say that without commending our brother Matt also,
Absolutely.
And the work, and we wouldn't go into details on that. But it warms my heart to be here with
I
you,
appreciate
and
you,
nobody can do what you do like you do, brother.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate
so
that.
We're happy to have
And I'm happy to have Donald with me.
Yes.
Since we've connected, we've clicked, and we've been able to understand.
I'm just absorbing, man. With Franklin, all you can do is listen,
That's right.
and just absorb the experiences, the learnings, the insights, and of course, not to mention, the humor.
That's right. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Classic.
Yeah, I was happy to be. He invited me to be there, and with you, I listened. I came in, but I listened. Maybe the cream of the crop, the ending of your presentation. But I already know that you were capable, because you're not talking out of just pulling ideas out of the air. You have your magic hat and your magic wand, and you were able to wield that quite successfully. And it all gave me the opportunity to interact with 3 of the young budding green entrepreneurs, and they were like. So I sat down there and I listened to them, their input, and I jot down some things for them to do, to
Mhm.
connect them between from idea on paper to the
Mhm,
customer and being on the
mhm,
shelf for,
mhm.
for purchase. And they were like, and I'm saying to myself, boy, Donald, don't know what he did for me. That opened a great window of opportunity for
Mhm.
consultancy, for
That's
moving,
right. That's right.
transiting
That's
from having your idea or your product on your shelf or your service at your hotel,
right.
and translate that into the minds of people who say, you know what, I heard that commercial about that place, and I want to go and experience that.
And you know,
Because-
I was calling him the entire day,
Yeah, the
Franklin,
entire day.
because I kept on telling him, Franklin, Sam will be here, so you have to be here. I
Oh,
want you
yes,
to
yes,
be there.
yes, yes,
You know,
indeed, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was a great
Mm.
experience, Sam. I even saw a number of them going to you after
Yes, yes.
your
They all
talk.
came by, yes.
You
and
know,
they-
requested for a photo.
yeah.
And that shirt, man,
Uh-huh.
I didn't wash my hand when I went home. I need to tell you, Sam had a shirt on. I mean, that was, it was like velvety. I was like, okay, I'm going to photocopy that shirt. I'm going to wear it sometime on my next program. But Sam,
Yes.
okay, the place that you're in now, I'm going to pass on to Donnie in a short
Mhm.
while from now. Your first words, what is the atmosphere like
Mhm.
regarding the suggestions that the platform they provided? What do you feel when you spoke and interacted with the young entrepreneurs?
I didn't know
Your
what
opinion.
to expect, and I
Mhm.
didn't, and I saw some of their concepts.
Mhm.
And my first reaction was, I wonder how appropriate they are to Dominica, because Dominica is a small island, small population, small economy, and I would like to challenge young people because you got to keep it real with them. You don't want to
Mhm.
say nice things, and then they
Mhm.
jump in there
Yeah.
and they end up in problems. So the
Mm.
first, I said, how relevant is your business to the demand that's out there? You have to start
Yes.
there. It's
Mhm.
not for yourself you're doing the business, it's for customers. And is the market there? And what's the size of the market? You
Mm.
got to get real.
Yes,
So that
yes.
was my first impression. And then also asking them some questions. Everyone thinks if they have the money, they'll be okay, they can do the business. And that's not the case. It's the knowledge. If you
Mm.
have the knowledge and the know-how, so it was important to share. And then just some keys to success: proper accounting in
Mhm.
your personal life and organization in your personal life translates to success in your business life. You
Yeah.
never see a bicycle going down the road, Franklin,
Mhm.
and one wheel going forward and the next one going backward, right?
No, that's
Mhm.
counterproductive.
That's counterproductive.
Yes.
They both go in the same direction.
Same direction.
So if you run your personal life
As a
unorganized,
coordinated
if
effort.
you always late, if you don't manage your finances well, if you live beyond your means, how are you going to run your business?
Mm.
The same way.
Okay.
So it's critical to be honest with them about these things. These are the keys to success. It's not some pie in the sky
Mhm,
dream, that it's pretty simple and pretty basic. And I want to encourage them to start small, start manageable,
Mhm.
start with something that you have knowledge of,
Yes, yes.
that you can master, and master it. Do it well.
Mhm.
Don't rest on your laurels. We culturally have a tendency to get comfortable fast.
Mhm, mhm.
Mm.
You don't get comfortable. You're always striving to be better today than you were yesterday, to be better tomorrow than you are today, and you're always seeking to improve and grow your business and
Mhm.
learn and make the adjustment. So this is what the message basically, within that space, I wanted to share with them and give them some of my experiences, some of the
Mhm.
anecdotes, and so
Mhm.
because you're going to get punched in the face in
Mm.
business. I don't mean literally, hopefully,
Yes, yes.
but you're going to hit a snag that's going to make you, question yourself.
Mm.
That's going to knock you down financially. You're going to hit misfortune,
Mhm.
and you need to have that fire in your bosom
Mhm.
and that strength to get up. So I wanted to encourage them, because sometimes we give up too easily.
Mm.
When we get a setback is a defeat for us. But a setback is not the defeat, because what you learn from a setback, you don't learn from success. You have
Mm.
to use that setback as a tool
Mm.
to take corrective action, so that you can go with more motivation and stronger than before,
So-
having learned from it. So
Mhm.
those are the
Mhm.
things that I sought to learn. Then they asked me some questions. They asked me some good questions. Some
I
of the
would say,
question
yeah.
they
Give us an
asked me,
example-
and then you heard
example.
that?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was like, excuse me, where did these?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I talk to a lot of people, online, and I'm always talking to young people about business, entrepreneurship, and so
Online and
universities, offline, whatever it is. But these guys came out, and I felt good. Sometimes our young people in my generation, to be honest with you, I get a little discouraged by some of what we see, the lack of organization, and sometimes they take things for granted and are not seeking to advance themselves, and kind of not very organized. But this group, I felt good when I talked to them because I saw a bright future, at least in some, and I know they will inspire others, and some of them will do well. For that matter, there was one young lady I didn't even know, but my general manager came with me and she introduced me to her, and she said, "Oh, by the way, she's already selling her stuff through her gift shop, and she had such a big order from one customer, but whatever stuff she had that she's now ordering and shipping to this person,
Wow.
large volumes because of one interaction."
One of our students at the Green
One of your
University?
students,
Okay.
and that is
Wow.
because of attitude. Remember, we talk about
Right.
attitude.
We will talk more about
If
that.
you have a negative attitude, you're not going anywhere in life.
Mhm.
If you're already, if you look defeated, if you
Yeah,
carry that defeated mindset, if you have a chip on your shoulder, you're not going anywhere in life. And so one of them asked me, "What part of your success did luck have to play?"
Yeah, I heard that.
It was me. It was me who asked
You
that.
asked me that, Dan. You asked me that, Dan.
And
I
then
did
you
ask
said,
that
and then you answer was,
and luck plays the major part in my success and in anyone's success. But one thing about luck is we create our luck.
explain that a little.
Yes.
Okay.
Please repeat
Yes,
that
please repeat that and explain
and then
that.
explain.
Expound on that.
We create our luck.
Mhm.
And we create our luck by first and foremost preparation. Because when you're prepared, you're in a position, you have the knowledge, you may have saved the money and have the resources. And so I have made some good investments. I have bought properties for way less than what they're on the market
Mhm,
because I
mhm.
had the resources to do it.
Yes.
And so you're prepared. If you didn't have the resources or don't have somebody give you a good deal, Franklin, you can't close on it.
Yeah. So that means I can coin a phrase where preparation meets opportunity. That's destiny.
That is luck.
Okay, that's love.
That is luck.
Preparation meets opportunity is luck. And that is luck.
Yes.
You see,
Okay.
if you meet someone and you're nice to them, hi, and you don't know who that person
Mhm.
is.
You never know.
Mhm.
You never know. You
That
are-
person can turn around, like I told you, and made a big
Yes.
order,
Yes.
or can open a door, and you.
Mhm.
It happens to me all the time.
Mhm.
And so you always carry that, no matter whether the guy is sweeping on the street
Yes.
or the woman is whatever it is, you always show respect, attention,
Mm.
and so on. And you carry
That's
yourself
true,
in a
you know?
positive
Yeah,
way.
That's
And if
true.
you're positive, people want to be around you. If you're negative, I don't want to be around negative
So,
people.
what is a positive approach and approach it gives you access to favor.
Access to favor. Absolutely. I don't want to be around people who bring down my spirit and my vibe.
Okay.
Or to do business
Okay.
again, you create your luck by being genuine and following through. Someone gives you an opportunity, fulfill it. Fulfill it, exceed the expectations. The next time they need somebody to do it, they're not looking anyplace else. They're going to you. If you take shortcut with the opportunity they give you, what do you think they're going to come and give you another try again? You're creating your luck. You're creating. So I say luck to me, and I think many people agree that luck is something that we create and we bring around us. And someone will look at somebody and say, "Oh, that person's lucky." No, that person worked hard and they continue to strive and they continue to prepare, and so good favor followed.
Donald, you're going to take over, but I need to ask a question. Now we've spoken about the green budding entrepreneurs. No, you haven't been seasoned, established. Then suddenly, I know for sure, boom comes a storm. Boom comes a reallocation. Boom comes COVID. Boom comes side blinding and tragedies that you have no control over, affecting your finance, affecting your reputation, affecting your business. How do you recover for that? And what contingencies do you put in place for these eventualities?
I guess for me,
Mhm.
first, how should you react to that kind of thing?
Sudden blind side.
First, before the recovery, the reaction first.
Yes.
For me,
As a business.
what should be
Yes.
the initial reaction, Sam?
As long as you're alive,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be okay.
Wow.
As long as you're alive.
Mhm.
If you're dead, you can't recover. As long as you're alive, you're in the plus.
Do I sense that you're saying to disconnect yourself from your
In
investment?
a kind, you can't take nothing I have I can take to the grave with me.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody need to realize that these are things. Don't let your emotions get caught up with material possessions.
Mhm.
Material possessions don't make people happy. Some of the saddest people I know. Someone was telling me about the curse of a billionaire.
Yes.
A billionaire with too much money and not knowing what to do with it is a miserable person. Okay, I know some of them.
Yes.
And
So you need a sense of purpose that is
Mhm.
greater than yourself,
Mhm.
and you know that is what you're trying to achieve.
Mhm.
For me, I like to support communities. I like the environment. I like to young people because that's my legacy.
Mhm.
That's my investment.
Yes.
That's my bank.
Yes.
The young people that I can turn and say, Donnie there, I know I help him get to doing, and look at where I advised
Yes.
Franklin there, and so we put it.
Nice.
That to me is invest. So when you have a purpose that's greater than just yourself, you're gonna do well. I
Mhm.
think for me that has worked for me, and so you develop over time that fire in your bosom, tested, and a setback. You don't surrender to a setback.
Mhm.
A knockdown is not a knockout. You sometimes you have to make a strategic retreat,
Mm.
but you're not surrendering.
Yes.
Mm.
And then you come again. You come with the knowledge
Yeah.
that you had from before, the knowledge that you gained from going through the setback. And what do you think? You're going to be weaker? No,
Yeah.
you're going to be stronger.
Mhm.
And just like the old Jungle Bay we had in the East,
Yes,
different.
yes,
And you see the new one.
Yeah.
What do you think if another
Oh, my.
disaster hit?
Oh.
Don't you think it's going to be great? I'm not asking for another disaster.
Yes, no.
please.
Yes.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Not
But
on
you see, as long as we have hope, as
Mhm.
long as we have faith, as long as we can have that fire in our bosom,
Mhm.
listen, we have the knowledge, we have the wisdom. Pick up the pieces
Mhm.
and let's go. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself.
What-
That's not gonna.
What did you do? What
Mhm.
did you do to know you've relocated from? So in other words, rising as a phoenix from the ashes.
Mhm.
What do you suggest? What is you rightly said the mindset to not be so emotionally attached to
Yeah.
the thing, but it's somehow as a less thing femininely that like
Mhm.
it's your baby. You
Yeah.
birthed this.
No.
And
But
so-
when even if you're a mother and a child, that is not your child.
Mhm.
That is a person that came through you.
but not from.
They do not belong to you.
Mhm.
So Jungle Bay does not belong to me.
Okay.
I sure intend to leave it behind. So that is
Mm.
not the end all.
Okay.
Mhm.
So when something happens to that, you then need to sit back calmly. When you catch yourself, maybe you'll take a couple hours, a couple days, because it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's not so easy. We're
Oh,
not void of
yeah.
emotion,
True, true.
and then you start doing the calculation. Where do I go?
Mm.
In my case, I was doing a project in Barbuda. I was in the process of starting that, and I mentioned that, and then the Prime Minister had approached me at the airport, and he talked to me about rebuilding it. So now I got options. What do I
Yes.
do?
Yes.
And I made the decision to rebuild in the original spot. There was a road access issue, so on and so forth. And, just work through and allow the universe to lead you. Someone contacted me from in IDA and told me about the site that's out there. And one thing, it was for me.
yes.
Because you go there and you open to the universe, you start to visualize. But I was able to do so because I had the preparation, I had the experience. I
Mhm.
know what to look for. Someone else looking at that land might just think, "Oh boy, that's just a bunch of bush."
Mhm.
But you know, again, you cannot do these things without the knowledge and experience that you have to develop.
Yes.
Yeah,
And,
Daniel.
no, you mentioned about them telling you that there's a new location, right?
Mm.
And you were ready, right?
Yes.
And now we go back to the theme of luck
Mm.
that we were discussing
That's
earlier.
correct. Yes,
So
yes.
being ready is being lucky,
That's correct.
right? But I just want to double down on that question of Franklin, because oftentimes we as entrepreneurs, we are asked to be passionate about our business.
Mhm.
They say you have to pursue your passion,
Mhm.
turn your passions into
To profits.
profits or businesses.
Business. Mhm.
But then on the other side, we tell them not to be attached, not to be not to a factor in emotion. So when you
Emotionally
do
invested.
or not to be emotionally invested
Mhm.
when you do big, especially big business decisions. So how would you reconcile those two thoughts, Sam?
I think you attached to making it a success
Okay.
for me,
Mhm.
but I'm not attached to the thing.
Mhm.
So I
Mm.
will announce on your program
Yes.
is that I am stepping down as the managing director of Jungle Bay as of July of this year.
Wow.
What am I going to do? I'm now developing a new project on another island.
Mhm.
So I have to, in order to allow Jungle Bay to grow, I've taken it as far as I can take it. And now I'm getting someone that's better than me, that have come with better credentials, etc., to take it to the next level.
Wow.
The person that I'm getting, the managing director, can't do what I do. But guess what? I can't do what he has done and can do. So in order to take it from whatever star it is at now, I don't know what star. We just did the best we could.
It's in the heavens. It's all right.
That is-
To take it to another
That is a-
star, you have to make that. So I cannot sit there by no, it's not going to grow. And
Wow.
what if something were to happen to me? I have 140 employees. I call the Jungle Bay family. I don't want their opportunities to collapse with me.
Mhm.
So it needs to have a life of its own. And a good dancer has to learn when to get off the stage
Yeah.
and try to be a good dancer.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's for me to get off the stage at Jungle Bay. I'll still be the chairman, and I will be looking at the numbers,
Mhm.
and I'll be coming here to visit and to enjoy my walk around Galion
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
enjoy
And
the
beach.
plants and so on and so
Yeah.
forth while I do my other stuff. But there's a time when the child has grown at Jungle Bay. We opened in 2005. So how old is Jungle Bay now? 20
That's
years.
20 years.
When your 20-year-old
Already?
child get 20 up and down, hit the knock, it's time for them to go.
Wow.
And to carve out, because that's what you prepared them for. It's a separation. And so
Yes.
that's what I'm doing now. And I will always be able to smile and look back on Jungle Bay and feel nice, you
Wow.
know? Because it's mine, but it's not mine. So that's
Mhm.
the balance.
Yes.
So you
Mm.
have to be able to make rational decisions. You're
Mhm.
passionate about the mission you're on,
Mhm.
but in terms of the attachment to things, you can't be overly attached. Because I can tell you, today you're here, I'm not even here, tomorrow you're gone.
Mhm.
Today you're
You're
gone
gone
again. And it
again,
cannot
yes.
be about how much I can accumulate and how much. It cannot be. If your life is about that, you can't be a happy person. You have to be happy about achieving the mission and whatever it is your calling in life, you know?
Mhm.
Wow.
So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
You did.
Okay,
You did.
because
Not only you did,
sometimes
but we
I
have
talk and I don't know
No,
if I'm
no.
answering your question.
I will ask you. I know Donald will, and he will ask you the business questions.
Yes.
I'll ask you the questions. To
No,
mind
for
your-
me,
No,
Frank-
no, let me say that.
Uh-huh.
I know Donald is going to ask you the business questions. I'm going to ask you the questions to mind your business.
Yes. Two of you guys, if I come back again, I'm going to bring 2 clown hats for the two of
Oh,
you.
yeah. Oh, that is a prominent moment.
not only he did answer our questions, Franklin, but he just made a major announcement there.
I know that's
Right.
That's our news already, right here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's a news
Oh, yeah.
item already,
Yeah.
right here. In our program, Nature Isle, Small Business Buzz.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Sam Raphael is
Managing director,
Stepping down.
Stepping down.
creator,
wow
and
to pave the way for another person.
fresh
Continuity,
perspective,
that's correct.
continuity. Fresh
So I
perspective.
guess for me, in my mind now, and I think it's also in the minds of a lot of people out there, what's next for Mr. Sam Raphael? I know you're still gonna stay as chairman, whatever, but as an entrepreneur,
I've been doing other things too
Mhm.
in the interim. Franklin, I got into aviation,
Mhm.
but subsequent to that, I got into housing in
Oh,
Trinidad.
Yes.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
I know that, of course.
And then I'm doing some things in Barbados, which is financial stuff
Okay.
in Barbados.
But that one, I didn't
I'm doing
really
some
know.
things in St. Lucia
Okay.
that is more, that is not a public type business.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm still in the Virgin Islands, St. Croix. I
So
still
Virgin
maintain my
Islands.
roots, and
Yes.
my primary home is there. And I've got some property, and my passion, part of it is planting and so on.
Okay.
So I've got some. I want to do a fruit farm
Okay.
there, so I'm going to do that.
wow.
Kicks and giggles,
Wow. Yes.
And then my big project is I've invested in a development in Bermuda, where I'm doing a project that's more rooms than Jungle Bay in the city of Hamilton.
Okay.
And that has already started, quite advanced. I got planning approval, the property in place, and I'm kind of have my team together, and we're in the process of building. So I need to be singularly focused on Sankofa House in Bermuda. And Sankofa is one of the great
The
African symbols,
Yes.
Akan symbols, and
Sankofa.
Sankofa is the bird that leaves her cage and goes out and gathers knowledge and come back. So this as a Caribbean island person from Trinidad to Bermuda, that's my space. People can go to the United States and England
Mhm.
and so on. And how do you how do you leave your footprint, and how do you help to empower people? And so this is what it's all about. I have a good local team in Bermuda of young Bermudans,
Mhm.
and working with them. And it's very different than Jungle Bay in a way, because Bermuda is 22 square miles. It's like 8% of the size of,
Yes, I know.
of
Yes,
Dominica.
yes.
Very small, but the population
I got
is
two
the
friends
same.
there, yeah.
And it's so I'm doing that in conjunction with the government. Interesting structure. Everything is interesting. So it's always learning. So I'm learning
Wow.
as I'm doing this. I've been
Nice.
there for 3 years. I'm a resident there legally now, and so
Mhm.
on. Yeah. So that to me is my immediate, what I've got to do.
Yeah.
And I'm on a mission there, and I'm not leaving Dominica behind.
Okay.
Dominica is my home, my
Mhm.
place
Oh, I
of
was
birth.
waiting for that.
Uh,
Yes,
Okay.
no,
I was
no,
about
no,
to
no,
ask
no.
that question.
I'll
but-
I'll be here quite a bit.
All right.
Probably in some way, I'm trying to structure the development a little different than I did here, where I involve more technical people,
Mhm.
and maybe I don't have to be in there all the time. But I really need to be around quite a bit to get the ball rolling.
Mm.
There's some very sensitive things over the coming, year to two, and so I need that time to separate. So that's next for me.
Well, you have
If I have life, because
Yeah.
I cannot tell tomorrow
yes.
something can happen. But that is the game plan, and that
Mhm.
keeps me going. Like
Yeah.
you said, that keeps us young.
That keeps
Wow.
us young, because Donnie,
Mhm.
I'm recommending Donnie. He's going to be part of the team.
So I should bring him with me.
But you can't.
Don't do that. My directors are listening now.
But he,
Donnie, we have to talk off here.
yeah. And I do the negotiations, because I'm into the marketing. I'm into
Yes. You have to get your cut, Frank.
Yeah, that's why I'm the voice of Jungle Bay right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the exotic Jungle Bay, located in the Commonwealth, the nature island of the Caribbean, Jungle Bay. So,
And
yeah,
just some minutes ago, I was sharing the link to all our directors at NDFD. I was telling you, all you have to listen, because Mr. Sam Rafael will be our guest
Yes.
today.
yeah,
but-
yes.
Yeah, but wow, that's amazing announcements. So
Mhm.
we just had not just one but two
Mhm.
breaking announcements
Yes,
from our guest. Wow, that's amazing.
and that's global. That's
Uh-huh.
regional,
Yeah.
national, regional, and international impact.
So how are you feeling? You excited about all this
New ventures,
upcoming changes in your life, in your career, in your entrepreneurial journey?
Absolutely. But every day, you get up and you get my routine every day that ends with a Y.
Mhm.
The days that don't end with Y, I don't do this.
Okay.
But the days that don't end in Y. Yes. So
every
every day that
help me.
Yes.
Oh, because I know one of them ends in Y. So I was about to ask why.
yes. So every day that ends in Y,
Uh-huh.
I get up and I go walking, hiking at 5:30.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that is my meditation,
Mm.
my power. That's you clear your air, you suck in the environment, and you
Mhm.
begin.
Mhm.
And after that, nothing can mess with you for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So that's my personal secret.
So
Mhm.
So I can in a way keep it on a balance. You keep excitement. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Mhm.
But I do realize, listen, I may not be around for the opening of Sankofa House. So I cannot wait to be happy when it opens.
Mhm.
I have to be happy
Happy
during the process. I have to be happy
Mm.
every day. I have to find success and
Mhm.
something to be excited about and something to be happy. Because if we defer happiness until we are some kind
unable
of
to
successful,
fulfill the happiness.
and then we end up, sometimes we leave everything and we're never happy in life. Right?
Mhm.
So every day you got to get up, you got to challenge yourself, you have to enjoy. Listen, it's a gift that we're here.
Oh yes.
Some
yes.
of us
I know that.
suffering unfortunate situations, but it's just temporary. We got to try to turn that around so that we can really look towards every day
Mhm.
as a pleasant day, and you measure your success and you go forward. And that's
Yeah.
what I try. So I am excited.
Yes.
I'm excited about the process, and right now I'm heading there,
Mhm.
in about a week.
Mhm.
Meeting key to get things going, and really, so the process is nice. It's been
Yeah.
happening for about a year and a half, close to 2
Okay,
years,
good.
and
Wow.
so we're going to just keep that going. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you just said something about your meditation. So I just going to phrase that your meditation is your medication.
That's right.
Yes.
And the one thing that Bermuda don't have that Dominica have is those hills for me to climb in the morning.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I miss when I'm outside of
Oh, yeah.
Dominica.
What is the
I
name of-
miss the walk up to Galion.
and the name of the place of the Mawat, the area that you
Monakuma.
Monakuma.
And you
Yes.
walking out. My God, I love Dominica's landscape.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I walk on the weekend. I walk from Soufriere to Rosemont. People look at me like that's San Rafael there, but Mr. Gone madman. That is a mad
He didn't
fella.
take his medication.
He didn't take his medication, you know. But no, it's because I came close to losing the ability to walk.
Okay.
I had major surgery in 2020 January,
Mhm.
where I was this close from being a quadriplegic.
Wow.
You remember that? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Wow.
now for me getting up and then I get atrophy when I don't, my muscles get tight.
Okay.
My pleasure is in walking and walking in nature, and that's what
Yes.
Dominica has to offer more than any place else.
Yeah.
My
Mhm.
place in St. Croix, I've got a place I walk and so on, but nothing like Dominica.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes.
you just absolutely, this is what I miss the most when I'm not here.
I can.
But we,
I can attest to that as well.
yes. But we can talk some more about advice for the young people.
Oh yes.
That is what
too.
we're
I was
coming
about to.
to. Yes.
But
Yes,
before I
yes.
go to that, right? I just have one last follow up question.
Go ahead.
Along that line, the transfer of
the path.
the path, the power, and everything. I just want to be a little more inquisitive.
Mm-hmm.
So you said, you're stepping down, and then someone's replacing you as managing director. So my question is the search on now, or the search is already over? Is it over?
The search is over. I cannot give
Mm.
the name yet because I haven't shared that name with my team. Well, I
Wow.
shared it with my management,
Mhm.
but every staff member, every housekeeper, everybody need. I
Wow.
need to. They're coming in. I need before I go out there and announce
Any-
that. But yes, the
Mm.
person is imminent and is going
Wow.
to do wonders for Jungle Bay
What's the
and ultimately going to do wonders for Dominica also.
Wow.
Because this
Any-
person has put the destinations on the map.
wow?
So.
Any clues? Is
No clue.
Is the
I
name?
gave you two. You're
Is the
being
name?
greedy down here.
What's the name? Is the name's initial FM? No. FPM?
You have to
No.
put P. Franklin Peter Moses. That's a
Well,
great surprise.
Franklin Peter Moses is overqualified for the position.
Oh,
we cannot
no,
afford to
I
pay
agree.
him. He applied, but he wanted too much money.
I
so we
agree.
cannot.
But at least I know my worth.
All right.
I have multi-million dollar ideas.
But I just want to say
Yes.
thank you so much, Mr. Raphael, for
Yes.
trusting our program, for
Yes.
making that announcement.
Yes.
So
Mm.
Nature Isle Small Business Buzz, you heard those breaking news first here. So let's move on now to the advice.
Yes. First question.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
what I have in mind is, with tourism evolving to include, like more authentic, wellness centered and eco conscious experiences, right? What emerging opportunities do you see for small business owners here in Dominica to tap into this new wave of, shall I say, new wave of tourism? And how can they position themselves to benefit from that?
Okay, so that is a very broad question,
Mhm.
an essay question.
Yeah.
So I
But we're
would
talking
say-
about emerging opportunities.
Yeah, so I would have to go back. When I first relocated or thought of relocating to Dominica, it was 1995.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because as a child, my family left in 1967.
Hmm.
I was a little kid and I grew up U.S. Virgin Islands, university in the U.S., came back to the Virgin Islands, got in a business. I eventually was the largest local real estate developer. I was a partner in a hotel on the Key in St.
Mhm.
Croix, as you know,
Mhm.
and so on. So I came, I was prepared,
Mhm.
for the. But when I came to Dominica and I pitched the idea at the time, it was a little more rustic than the original Jungle Bay. It was a campground,
Mhm.
and it was viewed with some level of skepticism.
Mhm.
The idea that people would come and want to stay in the bush. The idea of a hotel was to knock down the mountains and build something nice on the beach.
Yeah.
So even so, financing was impossible to get, not just in Dominica, but in the region
Mhm.
to develop this concept of Jungle Bay. But the whole idea is to not develop tourism the same way, in the same destructive way that it has been
The same
developed.
framework. Yeah.
The same framework where you destroy the environment, right on the beach, you put this monstrosity and people come and get sunburned. The concept was to develop a type of tourism that would not only coexist with the
But
environment,
integrate.
but integrate, and it would help to enhance and preserve the environment. So
Yes.
right now, we need the environment to preserved for the economic development of
Okay.
Dominica, for opportunities for young people. And so this is the change of the model. And we're to advance that concept of a model,
Yeah.
tying it into wellness,
Yes.
tying adventure, all of these things. So it's an experiment, but I would say report card so far is we've been able to do that
Mhm.
and grow that model. So now, if you go to a financial institution in the region anywhere and you use Jungle Bay as a comparable, because it is sustainable
Mhm.
economically too, it's a
Yes.
Mhm.
profitable model, then we've upped that and you will be most likely favorably viewed upon because of that model. So it was
Mm.
important to do that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So persons coming in now, in Jungle Bay, others that have been before me, you look at Anne Baptiste and the
Mhm.
work that they did at Papillon.
Mhm.
Athi was
Yes.
a leader in this thing with Exotica, and I'm throwing some names. I can't name everyone.
Mhm.
Apologize.
Mhm.
But I know Janice Amor did quite a
Mhm.
bit of
Mhm.
work with the and her family and team. With the development of whaling in Dominica,
Mhm.
not whaling, but whale watching in
watching,
Dominica. And
yes.
so,
Real
so there was
trailblazers.
some trailblazers
Mhm.
that laid the foundation for me.
Wow.
So my job now is to build the foundation for the next generation.
Mhm.
So the next generation that comes in, they don't have to ask a question about whether it's ecotourism or sustainable tourism. That's what Dominica is. If you want to come with another brand of tourism, you're on the wrong island. Because
Mhm.
this is what people come to this island for.
Mhm.
So when people develop hotels and properties, if they're not building these things to me in sync and in line with some kind of eco appeal and eco friendliness, you're smarter than me if you're going to be successful. I don't know how to do it and make it work, because this is what the island calls for, the visitors to the island,
Mhm.
except those that come on business to go in and out. This is what they are looking for. So
Mhm.
let's not kid ourselves. This is what, and there's a lot of opportunity. There's a growing. This is one of the fastest growing segments. Persons that want wellness. People need
I
natural
agree.
health now.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's what they want.
Yes.
People want that nature adventure. That's what people want. And so, so Dominica is to me, in terms of investment, if I were to look at it from outside of all the Caribbean islands, if I were not Dominican, I would say Dominica is the best investment opportunity in the Caribbean,
Mm.
because the market has met us. The
Mm.
travel market has met what we have to offer in terms of potential. We now have to develop businesses within that potential that are viable. So the
Mm.
businesses we develop have to be highly competitive,
Okay.
of international standards.
Mhm.
We have to understand, we have to do things right. So when people want to get into business, it may be, you have a home you want to convert into a guest house.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
that's an
Yes.
opportunity.
Yes.
I firmly believe, and again, I'm saying it based on anecdotally my expertise in this, but I think I have some expertise in this. I think the
Mhm.
growth is going to come. Much of it is going to come from the guest house scene, because people that want to come to Dominica want to come and stay in something unique. They like the whole local community tourism thrust and so on. And it's much easier too for a person to get into a guest house than to build a hotel. You have less to manage, and then maybe you get a second guest house, you can grow it and so on. So I would, suggest people, you get into the market at a point where they're comfortable, they do it well.
Mhm.
You have to understand the guest experience, and we have to facilitate, because people coming here for stories and for experiences. So you cannot just build a guest house in the middle of nowhere and expect people to come and fill it. They don't want to have to come and cook.
Mhm.
They're not coming here to cook.
Yeah.
How are they going to eat? How
Yeah.
are they going to get to your place from the airport? What tours are there for them to do? All of those things, you have to fill in the blank. You may not have to do it yourself, but there may be a cluster of guest houses near you. There's a restaurant somewhere, or it now gives someone an opportunity to open a restaurant because you see the cluster of guest houses there. There
Mhm.
are other services, maybe a health spa.
Mm. Mhm.
That's an opportunity there.
Mhm.
And so when we look at those wellness entrepreneurs that we talk to,
Yes.
that's what they have to study these things
Mm.
and see where the trend is going. Because you may not, everybody shouldn't own a hotel. A hotel, that doesn't make sense for everyone to own a
Mhm.
hotel.
Mhm.
You may be providing supplies to a hotel, like some of them want to provide. One of them gave me some cannabis infused oil,
Mhm. Mhm.
for massaging,
Yes.
It's nice. And
Very
so
nice.
on. You're developing products, and when the market is, again, the first thing I suggested, you have to know that the market is big enough for your product that you're offering.
Mhm.
Then you can jump in. Sometimes you should not rely only on the Dominica market, but it's a regional market. How do I get my cannabis oil to St. Lucia, Barbados? Because it's a higher quality. I'm going to make sure I have a high standard, or whatever other product it is, and so on. And we have many opportunities for small businesses. And don't keep your business small. You start there, you start with what you can, and you grow it, you learn from it, you have your setbacks, you have your triumphs, and you grow and you continue to grow and stick with it. And that's the key to success.
Sam, I don't want to interject. I'm just absorbing on what you're saying, but my brain is also, excuse me, it's working. It's a good thing I did not interrupt you, because you basically you've painted all the banisters for me already. But my next question, I'm going to take you, maybe not emotionally, but to a place that's passionate for me. By extension, to have a tourism attracting product. Tell me what you think and suggest to me how I want to go about it. In that, creating a platform, a business. I don't want to call it a rehab, but a wellness center, a wellness rejuvenation rehabilitation center that encompasses a seamless, synergistic collaboration between the environment, between swimming, between nature walks, between motivation, between counseling, all of that coming together. It doesn't have to be big. Just walks on the beach, and for people who are, especially with the prevalence of just mental imbalances. And I feel passionate about it, because I too need that too. So I'm talking about investment, possibilities, probabilities, avenues, windows, funding, outside funding, designers, architects, help me with that.
Well, you started to put the business plan together. Continue. I'm listening to you, and I'm listening to the formation of a business plan, Frank.
Okay.
And you got to take it from the lip to the fingers and put it on paper.
I have the basic, I have the fundamental brickwork. I have it there. I could think of it instantly.
Begin, and when you put it on paper, you can look at it and you can edit it.
Thank you.
Because if you talk it, you kind of miss.
Yes.
You put it on paper and you make it a living document.
Yes.
A business plan is not a static document. It's a living document that you modify as you go through. Because your original concept, if you're like me, you're going to have a lot of gaps in your original concept. Let me put it this way. It's not going to be a bright concept, the original. Because over time you start, oh my God, that was so silly, I thought that. When you start to really put it down and you start to implement it. So be prepared to make the adjustments on that. It's going to be, at the end of the day, you, whoever that entrepreneur is, and you're passionate about that, passion alone isn't it? Persons would have to look at you and say, is he investment worthy? And that's where we come in.
Okay.
Because your concept is nice, they like it, but more so than investing in your concept, they're investing in you.
Talk to me.
Because you have acquitted yourself well. You have taken what you've taken from 1 to 2, from 5 to 10, from 20 to 100. And then they say, okay, Franklin I know he will take, or I'm not using your name, or whoever it is with the concept. And this is where the investment comes in. And then from what you've done, you've saved, you've invested, at least he's going to put, or she's going to put something towards it. Because I'm not going to put all my money into somebody's idea. No. I have 5,000 ideas in my head that I'm never going to implement. But you're going to make sure if that person is doing it and they're putting in the first dollar, they're putting in the first thing, and they're on the hook for that money, they're not going to end up losing their money. They're going to make sure then I feel my money is more secure. That's why when you go to a bank, they tell you, well, they're going to lend you X percentage on what you want to borrow.
Okay.
Right? They want to lend you 50% or 70%. It's not that the bank don't have 100% to lend you, but the bank want to make sure that you have your 30% stake in there, that you are prepared to lose if you slip up on that. So those are all factors. But I think the concept is important, but who is going to make that happen? What capacity? What experience do they have? That is at the end what will make the decision. For me, if I am looking at investing either for my own money or if I'm on a bank board and I want to make sure everybody want their money back with interest. I want to make sure that person have acquitted themselves well. So that's why I encourage people to start small. If you say, I started small here and I did this and I did it, then that's good. You have a track record. But if you have no track record, like people call me from time to time and they say, I have an idea and I want to do this. And I ask them the first question, what request experience do you have in this area to make you, to suggest that you have knowledge?
A prime candidate for investment.
If I say I want to open a medical practice and I want to, to do surgeries and so on, you have to look at me like I've lost my mind. You have to say, Samuel, what you know about that? I
Yes.
don't know. So it's the same thing.
Yes.
If you've not done anything in tourism, and you want to open this big, and after I ask you, really? You think you're gonna? And there are ways in which you can infiltrate. One of I remember some years ago, this guy Bevan Lewis, he worked at the National Bank,
Oh yes.
and Bevan
Remember that.
they have
Soufriere?
some and Soufriere,
Soufriere, yes.
and they wanted to do a guest house, a facility there, and so on. He came to me and he said, so I said, well, intern with me, at least go 3 to 6 months. We know that your goal is to open, but learn from inside. You're a banker for 20 something years, but you don't know how to run a business. You don't know how to run that business. You don't know.
Mhm.
So intern and take a job there and see. Yeah, maybe you decide after 3 months, after 6 months, that is not what you want to do. Those guests are too miserable. You don't want to, to be in that business or something like that. You got to get a feel for it
Mhm.
and reduce your risk that way. And there are ways in which, whether you intern or etc. on someone else's dime, because they're the one taking the risk, and you learn. You may or may not even need to get a paycheck, but the knowledge you get is way more than the paycheck.
Okay, we have 3 more minutes. Donnie, you take over.
No, for me, I guess right now my question in my mind is some small business owners out there are probably thinking, Sam, as they watch, they're probably thinking, but Mr. Raphael is already, he's far, he's too big for me to kind of emulate, right? So they being where they are right now, they're managing a small business. What like steps, like practical steps can you advise them to do as they build on their dreams,
Mhm,
and
okay.
current small businesses?
Last
right?
question. Last
Mhm.
question.
Everybody's situation is different. Some
Mhm.
people want to get to 5, some people want to get to 50, some people want to get
Mhm,
to 5,000. So, I wasn't born with a
Mm.
silver spoon in my mouth
Mhm.
either. I was from a
Mhm.
Bellevue Chopin, little boy running
Yeah.
around barefoot and so on. So this is, and you over time, it takes a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice.
Let me just
deferred
interrupt you there, but
A
gratification.
crude experience.
when you were saying that Franklin was smiling big, so I thinking he was probably running there with you when you were mentioning about running around.
I was running from Franklin. No, and
Yes,
and
please
then over
continue, please
time,
continue.
yes. So I would say to the people out there,
Mhm.
you got to get back to that fire in your bosom. Remember the
Mhm.
source,
Mhm.
because it's not gonna fall on your lap, and it's going to take a tremendous amount of effort. And don't look at other people. Don't look at me. Don't look at something. Everybody's path is different. Everyone climbs a mountain in a different way. And I think sometimes we make some mistakes when we measure ourselves against other people. So we got to measure yourself against your goals, against your capacity, and against what you want to achieve, and you yourself. Because everybody climb the mountain in a different way.
Okay, we're gonna we Sam, you got to come back. What you do next week?
Next week I will be in Bermuda. You want to come to Bermuda and do the program from there?
You
Let's
you-
go.
you asking
You
the
just offered us something. We can, let's go.
but
Let's do it.
you asking the Pope if he's Catholic. Of course the Pope is Catholic. Of course we're coming. Okay.
So
We're gonna
I
continue.
promise I'll be back at and I'm in
Yes,
and out.
sure,
so we will-
absolutely. Yes,
but your
Donald.
format, guys, is fantastic.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Information,
Yes.
my
Oh,
God.
yes. Thank you, man.
If you guys can,
We're
keep
gonna
this up,
transcribe this
because,
for you.
because talk radio so often and social
I
media
know.
is about secular,
I know.
partisan nonsense or whatever. It is.
Mhm.
Pardon me,
Yes.
I'm just calling it as it is.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
We dealing with issues here.
Issues, yes.
And I like that.
Yeah.
And your young people especially.
Thank you. Yeah,
this
man.
is-
Thanks,
I'm
man.
sure
Thank
they'll
you so
appreciate
much.
You're gonna come back, Sam. We want you to come back.
On
So,
that
okay.
note, I
Yes.
also would like to big up, of course, our board of directors, and then, of course, our executive director, Mr. Cletus Joseph, my boss. Hopefully, he's listening right now. He's also, we were there with you at Jungle Bay, right? Some days ago. So we had a great meeting. So just want to greet them. Our people over there at the NDFD, right, and the Green Innovations team, all our sponsors and partners, mentors, trainers. Thank you so much. We're on the third day, and Saturday we're all gonna see each other, of course, at Jungle Bay. I'm so excited, cannot wait. All right, and of course Sam will be there. So yeah, hopefully, but We'll see you there, Franklin. Yeah.
From all of us here at Q95 and alongside in collaboration with National Development Foundation and Jungle Bay, represented there by the managing director and the authentic author and creator of Jungle Bay, we want to tell you thank you. He'll be back. Until then, we'll leave. News coming up next on Q95, the big station. Thanks for listening.